you live in the Hawkesbury, you've probably driven across the river hundreds of times, thousands of times, possibly even hundreds of thousands of times for some people. You might fish in it, swim in it, and water ski it. But beneath the surface lives something extraordinary, one of the most amazing creatures on Earth, an animal that most people will never see. It's a mammal that lays eggs, has venomous spurs, and uses electric receptors to locate its prey. It survived for millions of years, but that's not the most remarkable thing about it. What's remarkable is this one elusive animal has the power to bring together communities, influence policy, and change the way that we care about our environment. And that animal is the platypus. And this is a story about how something we rarely see can help us reconnect with what matters the most. Where we're standing today, the Hawkesbury-Nepean River is the lifeblood of our region. The river has a deep cultural significance and has sustained populations for 65,000 years. It's a source of water for millions of people throughout Sydney and holds a great diversity of life. But like many rivers around the world, it's under immense pressure. Urban development, changing land use, like you can see in these photos behind me, all of which were taken in the Hawkesbury catchment in the last year or so, declining water quality are all shaping the health of this river system in the ways we don't always see. And that's the challenge. It's really easy to care about something when it's right in front of you, when it smacks you in the face. But what about those things we don't see? The species beneath the surface, the connections that hold it all together. And for a long time, the platypus was one of those unknowns. We didn't really know where they were, how many there were, or how they were coping in this increased urbanized area. And without that knowledge, it's very hard to protect something. This is where the Hawkesbury-Nepean Platypus Project started. In the Cat-Eye Creek area, thanks to Cat-Eye Hills Environment Network, some of who are here today. An area that's undergoing a rapid urbanisation. It's in the Northwest Growth Priority Sector. 33,000 more houses are going in the Cat-Eye Creek catchment up to 2030. It's a huge increase. These beautiful farm lots, small hobby farms, larger dairies, are being converted into 400 square metre blocks, houses roof to roof. And the community were getting really concerned because they started seeing a decline in their water quality. They started seeing muddiness, turbidity in their water, and these huge sand slugs coming in and smothering the creek. The residents and the fishermen there were really concerned because they would see platypus regularly and no one would take them seriously. No one managed that area for platypus. Looking at the scientific records, the most recent scientific record in that area was 1998. So it was generally considered that there were no longer platypus in the hills area. We worked with Cat-Eye Hills Network and led by Sue Martin. She got a grant for us to do some environmental DNA testing. And that's a really simple water test we can do. We know through all those CSI shows that when we enter a space, we're leaving traces of ourselves everywhere, through skin cells, through our hair. Platypus are the same. As they're moving through the water, they're leaving traces of themselves. We, or anyone, citizen scientists, and this study was led by citizen scientists from Cat-Eye Hills Environment Network, went and collected water samples, filtered them on site, and sent them to a lab. And what that would tell us is if there was platypus in that area in the last 24 hours. And the results were amazing. We went from those 2 known locations, historic locations in the hills, and we added 18 more. So really huge achievement by a group of citizen scientists who cared about platypus in their waterways. This discovery blew up. Everyone was so excited that there were platypus all the way through the hills, from the mouth at the Hawkesbury River all the way up to Castle Hill. It was so exciting there was platypus there. And people started asking, then where else is platypus? Everyone wanted to know where there were platypus and if they had platypus in their waterways. We realised that the platypus was the key to connect people to their waterways, and the way that we could connect stakeholders and different people to protect the waterways in Western Sydney. And it was working. Our team was seeing a real impact, a real connection of using the platypus as the icon, and people were using it to protect their area for their cause, and using the platypus as a symbol of hope and a symbol of something to fight for. If we drive 20 minutes straight up this road, we reach one of the most beautiful areas in the Hawkesbury, possibly one of the most beautiful areas in Australia, the islands. A beautiful bushland area situated alongside a World Heritage listed national park. In the middle of that area is a proposed $200 million development for a tourist facility. That development would absolutely decimate the environment of that area. My team and I are lucky enough to not only provide scientific evidence, indisputable proof that these amazing icons exist in the islands, but we're able to give the community an icon to fight for, an icon that is June. Along with the other icons in the islands, koalas, region honeyeaters, swift parrots, June shows us what would be lost if this development goes ahead. It gives the community a connection to their waterway, and understanding what's in it, the amazing, beautiful beauty that it holds, and gives the community a purpose to fight for. I'm going to introduce you to some of our other icons. So this is George. George is from the Hawkesbury River, and the property we were on was owned originally by a gentleman called George, who handed the property down to his son. His son grew up on the property and remembers seeing platypus when he was a young boy. He hadn't seen platypus in 30 years. He allowed us to come onto his property to do some work, and we netted a platypus within a couple of hours. The son was so grateful that we were able to catch a platypus. He was so connected to that platypus. He called it George after his father because he knew his father would be so proud that George was still there, the platypus. He now works to protect his property for all platypus that live there, and he uses George as a symbol for other farmers in the Hawkesbury of what can be in your river if you protect it. The next two, Dionysius. And Bronte. And we thank Kat Warwick for that excellent camera work. These platypus are in the most iconic place that people see platypus. Anytime Kat and I do a talk and we ask people, have you seen a platypus in the wild? There's always someone in the audience who says the Blue Lake at Jenolan Caves. And these two are the current residents of the Blue Lake at Jenolan Caves. And I couldn't do a talk in Western Sydney without talking about Bluey, who's the icon for the hills. Not just because he shines blue under UV light, a weird trait that all platypus do, but he was found in Blue Gum Creek at Enden Grove. And he's been in all the media for the platypus in the hills. So for us, for my team, this project is not just about platypus. It's about creating connection. As much time as we spend sitting by creeks, and that is thousands of hours, we spend time engaging with communities, with the media, with local government, with state government, with federal government, with anyone who will talk to us, water managers. This small, elusive, almost mythical animal gave us and gives people a reason to look more closely at the river, their creeks, their wetlands, and to care about what they saw. And from that connection, something even more powerful began to happen: action. We started seeing people restoring riverbanks and improving habitat. And I just want to thank Susan Templeman, who I know is here today, secured $1 million of funding to invest into improving riverbanks for platypus in the Hawkesbury. And as you drive around the Hawkesbury, you'll see the Platypus Park property signs for people who are undertaking that work on their property. So thank you, Susan. We advocate for waterway health, and we've seen people who didn't talk about waterway health before using the platypus to talk about improving waterway health. Local councils have started embedding platypus conservation in their management plans, recognizing that protecting this species means protecting entire ecosystems. And all of this from an animal that most people will never see. And that's the shift. Because when we think environmental change starts with science or policy or regulation, but what this project has shown me is that real change starts with something simpler. It starts with connection. We don't protect what we don't connect to. Connection leads to awareness, which leads to care, which leads to action. I want to leave you with this. The next time you cross the Hawkesbury River, or walk beside a creek, or go walk past a park that you think you know, stop. Take a moment and look a little closer, because beneath the surface, there's connections waiting to be made. The platypus may be elusive, you may never see one in the wild, but that doesn't mean it's not there. And it doesn't mean that you can't change the way you see the river or your role in protecting it. Because when we reconnect with our waterways, we're not just protecting a species, we're strengthening communities, we're restoring ecosystems, and we're reminding ourselves that we are part of this landscape too. And that's the most important thing the platypus can teach us. Thank you.